There has been more talk about a very surprising possible new Star Trek show starring Scott Bakula. The return of Captain Archer. Something we've been talking about for a while, but Star Trek United seems to be gathering a bit of pace. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast, your place for sci-fi news, rumour and debate.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
So, it does seem that Mike Sussman, who was a major creator for the Enterprise series all those years ago, remember when Star Trek was good, has been talking about Star Trek United again, and his plans to bring back Captain Archer, or now President Archer. We know a little bit more about what is planned and a few details about when it'd be set, what it would be about, etc. But I want to talk to you a little bit about a glaring silence, that somebody isn't talking about it that should be. Does that tell us something about the future of Star Trek? But first of all, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about why I would actually be very pleased to see this show and what it is they're planning to do. Well, Sussman actually talked about doing something for Star Trek that Andor did for Star Wars. Now, I find that a very intriguing comment, particularly when he then went on to say, look, we want adult stories told in a grown-up, realistic way. That he wants this to be a kind of political drama. And that, I'm thinking like West Wing, baby. And this would really focus not only around Archer, but also his family and the fate of the Federation at the time. Now, we've already seen that Archer was really important in the formation of the Federation, of bringing the Tellarites, the Andorians, the Vulcans together. And we know from certain episodes where we saw his bio, I think it was the Mirror Universe episode, that, he was the Federation president for a period, at least in that universe. So, we have a little bit of canon here. Do I want a show like this, a political thriller set within this time period of the Federation? Normally, I would say no. Because normally, I hate prequels. Prequels are stupid. And they just step all over canon. But this is a little bit different. Why? Because Captain Archer and Scott Bakula's portrayal of him was marginally my favourite captain within the Star Trek universe. And we had some great captains. Obviously Picard, the OG. We had Sisko, which actually is a brilliant actor, and Avery Brooks is just great in it, but also a fantastic captain. We had some amazing scenes with that. And Janeway. The thing is, Scott Bakula is just an actor I really like. I loved Quantum Leap. It was one of my favourite shows when it was on at the time. It's got one of the best opening, theme tunes, and unlike Star Trek Enterprise, even though I did like that it was a long road, getting from there to here, I actually quite liked it, even though it didn't really fit a Star Trek show. I quite liked the start. But anyway, Quantum Leap, I love that. And it was from an era when just shows had really good theme tunes. An era that we've lost. Tell me one good, really exciting theme tune from the last 10 years. You'll struggle. I might go Game of Thrones. I did quite like that, and it fit the show, but that's just what I've thought off the top of my head. I don't know anything other stuff off the top of my head. The show would follow the Romulan War as well, which really is interesting. So we had the very early stages of the formation of the Federation, these handful of planetary bodies coming together. The Romulans didn't like that very much and wanted to prevent it. So the United Earth Forces did go into conflict. It actually ended in 2160 at the Battle of Sharon, when a combined force of Earth, the Vulcans, etc., defeated the Romulan Empire soundly, apparently, absolutely humiliated them. Following that conflict was the formation of the Romulan neutral zone, a neutral stretch of space that's always respected, and they never just randomly go in there for no reason, in like every episode of TNG that the Romulans are in anyway. So, yeah, we had the Romulan neutral zone from there. A really important part of actually the relationship between the Federation and Romulan moving forward, particularly in TNG. So, where are we actually at with the potential of this show going? And what am I saying is the glaring silence that really interests me? Well, this show was pitched to Paramount a few years ago, but was declined. I think that the way we were going to Secret Hideout at the time would have made it a little bit awkward to do this show, particularly if somebody like Kurtzman doesn't want to do it. We've also got something like Academy, which is a similar sort of show. The thing that makes me interested now is, though, that there are rumours that they are pitching this to Paramount and its new owners, the Skydance executives, and that the fact that Sussman keeps talking about it is trying to build interest in this Star Trek United. I'm hearing that there is interest in it, but it won't be under Secret Hideout. It is interesting to say that the Secret Hideout is not saying an awful lot about this show, and what, from my understanding, is not one of the 5 shows that Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout have pitched to Paramount in the last few months. So, a silence from Secret Hideout. Sussman talking about it more and more. Scott Bakula talking about it more and more. A show that is being really developed by Mike Sussman as well. He's got ideas like the fact that Archer's family will kind of reflect Scott Bakula's family, that he's going to have 4 adult children, and that in the show, one of them will be sort of in Starfleet intelligence, which is interesting immediately. One of them will be in Starfleet following his daddy's footsteps, and one of them might be in the diplomatic corps. A really interesting mix of family dynamic there. I actually would love to see how the Starfleet intelligence fits in with this. I can actually really imagine some very interesting storylines with that. You know, we already know that Section 31 is not very liked by Archer, so, you know, maybe that could come into it. It's just really, really interesting, though, that Sussman has developed this as far as he has done. He must have had some positive review or something coming from Paramount for him to, for one, be still talking about it, and for him to be actually trying to develop something. It's obviously a bit of a passion project for him, and continuing enterprise that he put so much work into is also something that I imagine is very important to him. But he must have had some sort of encouragement somewhere, mustn't he? I believe he has done from whispers I've heard, but I can't confirm or deny it. Would I want this show? I've already said I hate prequels. I do like the Captain, but I also think this is an interesting time frame within the Federation. I was disappointed by Enterprise. Executives over at Paramount and, was it UCN? You're going to have to remind me, get in the comments and remind me. It wasn't obviously on that network in America, it was just on Sky here, but anyway, I think it was UCN. They basically forced on the creators of Enterprise this whole temporal war thing. That's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to show us the formation of the Federation. And I've always said that was what disappointed me most about Enterprise, was that's what the show should have been focused on. It shouldn't have had things like the Xindi in it. It should have just been focused on the formation of the Federation, exploration, you know, us getting out there for the first time. We lost a little bit of that in things like the Xindi conflict and the temporal Cold War. I would be interested to see what United might do. Man United. What Star Trek United might do with these creators actually being allowed to do what they wanted to do. And maybe we'd get a show that's a little bit more like what Enterprise should have been. Let's cross our fingers and hope. Let's cross our fingers and hope the show will get done without Alex Kurtzman. That'd be nice. But guys, get into the comments on what you think about this show. It's something we've talked about a few times over the last 12 months or so. But it does feel like it's getting a bit of momentum. What do you think? Is it a show you'd like? And what do you think the chances of it happening are? I'm not sure, but it's interesting. Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you become a member of the channel and get to see a lot of these videos before everybody else. And we have a Patreon. There's a link in the description. I do completely new videos just for Patreon, where I can give you a little bit more information than I can here on YouTube, an open channel. So go check that out if you're interested. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.